Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is really going to be one of those strange topics. It's a topic, once again, I didn't expect to be making a video, but something came across my feed, and I unfortunately took a peek at it. I mean, let's be honest, it piqued my curiosity, so I watched it, and I have some thoughts on it that I'd like to share. Before I share those thoughts, let me remind you that if you like what we're doing and you'd like to support what we're doing, you are welcome to join us on Patreon, through which you can meet with us every Sunday evening, that's German time, and ask us questions directly. I will be there. Justin will be there. Other folks who are heavily involved in the community will be there, and you can speak rather openly and honestly and get open and honest answers. So if something you're interested in, please consider joining us on Patreon. Let's jump into this one. Here's a topic I never once thought about in my life until a couple days ago. Boys dressing up in drag and performing on stage. That is something that never interested me. I would like to think that it doesn't interest most people, but apparently some people are interested in it. So a video came across my feed and I watched it. I watched all 1 hour, 10 minutes of it, but I'm going to be honest with you. After the first few minutes, I really felt like I needed to wash my hands or go take a shower. Strangest thing I've ever seen, and it was published on YouTube. And I'm going to make sure that you can see some clips of it in this video so you'll know that it was published on YouTube. This video was published and directed by a woman who clearly is in support of the LGBTQ community. And she was very much in favor, is very much in favor of allowing boys as young as 9 to not only dress up in drag and perform on stage, but to actually go to school and get lessons on how to go on stage and dance like a girl. During this video, some of the mothers, one particular, but some of the mothers said that they don't think it's fair that their children have to live inside of these boxes, that they should be allowed to express themselves. They should be allowed to be who they are. Of course, that begs the question of what 9-year-old knows who they are. I know there are people who are going to accuse me of being homophobic or accuse me of being anti-transgender or what have you, and I am all for people being who they were meant to be. I am all for people living the lives that they want to live, especially if you're living it in private. And by private, I mean if you jump in front of a camera and you put it on TV, not very private. So the parents cannot be surprised when there's pushback. And there is pushback. For instance, the mother of one child sent her son dressed in drag to a Bible summer camp. And she was surprised that there was a negative reaction.
There we go. Perfect. Okay, now let's do the purple here.
2016 was Jason's first Pride. He went to church camp, like the day after that first Pride. I have to say that in the back of my mind, I had some concerns about that.
I just went outside for a second, and then this guy said, "Why are your nails painted?" And I said, because I can paint them. And then he was looking at me with the look, and then I don't know why, but he goes to tell these other counselors. And then they have me sign a form saying men are with women and women are with men. I was mad.
The pastor and his wife came up and said that they had quote-unquote concerns about my son.
This ain't the 80s.
Okay.
This ain't the 80s. I don't care if you were born in the 80s, go get your groove back.
I don't think he was born in the 80s.
He probably was, because he's so old-fashioned.
People have these opinions, how they think kids should be. I think that people who are intolerant are just scared.
There are going to be those folks who accuse me of leaning on one side of the political spectrum. And one of the things that we have put an enormous amount of effort in this channel is to keep politics out of it. I don't mind talking about what happens in the legislature or what happens in the courts. That's all well and good, but we don't bring politics into it. I am one who believes that both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party both have their faults and have not done anything to help reform the criminal justice system and really don't care about justice. So I'm not pinning that on one party or the other. But there is a political movement at the moment who is very, I think it's fair to say, anti-transgender. And one of the reasons I think that they're that anti-transgender is because there's folks on the other side of the political spectrum who are pushing boundaries to such an extent that they want no boundaries at all.
My mama told me when I was young, we're all superstars. She rolled my hair with my lipstick on, gave my ass a cover glass. I'm just falling away, you got me no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't have yourself to regret, just love yourself and you said, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Whether you're broke or evergreen, your black, white face, your life descent, your Lebanese, your Orient. Whether like disabilities left you outcast but leader teens, rejoice and love yourself today, 'cause baby, you were born this way. Gay, straight or bi, lesbian, transgender life. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born to survive. No matter black, white, or beige, your life or Orient. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born to be brave.
And I wonder if that's part of the problem we have in the world today when generations that are growing up now think that they're the center of the universe because they're taught that their individuality is more important than the community, that their right of individual expression is more important than someone else's right to not have to deal with extremes. And I think that's what I'm saying. It's the extreme on the left, the extreme on the right that's a problem politically, but I also think that that's a problem with sexual identity politics. It goes to such an extreme. Now, what I found particularly offensive, I'll say it, is that one of the mothers complained that other people thought that she was sexualizing her child. This same woman has her son dress up in high heels, tight clothing, and a wig, dance on stage, and literally accepts cash money from the audience. Another mother says, well, these festivals where these kids get up and are allowed to express themselves on stage are family-friendly, kid-friendly environments. Except that every example they showed in this documentary was either a bar or was a gay club. Not an area I would necessarily consider kid-friendly when you are serving alcohol openly to all these other folks. I think that's a problem. One of the clubs where one mother was allowing her son to perform was literally called the Kinky Lounge.
I think there's like this really common misconception that these kids are being like sexualized. And that's weird to me because like at the end of the day, it's like kids putting on makeup and fancy dresses and lip syncing. That's all that it is. Like, I don't understand how hard it is for people to understand that. Like, I just can't be that dumb.
This is like a corset of a dress, sister.
Okay. How does it feel?
I'm not gonna wear it like this. I'm gonna wear it like Donatella. Every famous person needs to have a name for their fans. As I like to call my fans, the lactators. My lactators.
Tonight is the Unicorn Ball. We have the one and only 9-year-old drag sensation Lactatia from Montreal.
I find that to be extremist. Again, I'm all for protecting someone's sexual identity, but that is to such an extreme that I think you're borderline abusing the child. Two of the children that their parents are bragging about how talented they are, two of these children specifically have no talent whatsoever. And I know I'm not supposed to say anything negative about children, but I'd rather speak reality for a few minutes. These kids have no talent. And if you look at this one performance by Jason, who goes by the name Susan B. Anthony, this kid has a very uninspired performance, looks like he's completely uninterested in what he's doing, but he's perfectly fine accepting money from grown men as he's dancing on stage as a woman.
It makes my heart burst. I love to be able to see him get out there and be brave enough to be a boy and put on a dress and a wig and makeup and just go out there and sing and dance. It makes me so proud of him as my kid in the spotlight right now.
What am I supposed to make of that? Those are the facts. Now, this documentary, I should point out, made no effort whatsoever to be objective. It is clearly told from the perspective that these gay kids, assuming they're gay, I don't know that you have to be gay to dress up as a woman on stage and make money, but assuming these kids are gay, just for the argument's sake, I don't have any problem with them being gay. I have a problem with the parents exploiting it. And in one case, a father was actually teaching his son how to sashay. I can't be the only one that thinks this is just extreme. Now, before somebody writes in the comments, and I absolutely want to read the comments on this one, before somebody wants to accuse me of being homophobic or anti-transgender, please understand I'm gay. I grew up as a gay young man. So I'm not throwing stones at somebody for being gay. But this is extremist. And I think what we've done as a society is we've gotten so extreme with sexual identity politics that what people consider discrimination today is laughable. I just said it. Laughable. I heard kids in this documentary talking about how they'd been discriminated against because somebody made a negative comment on their fingernail polish. What? When I was in school, I personally was in the closet until I was outed at 20 or 21. I don't remember. I'll go this far. I was expelled from my church when I was 20 for being gay. I was expelled from my Christian school at 16 for being gay and lived in terror that my parents would expel me. Thankfully, my parents did not expel me. My parents never really fully accepted the fact that I'm gay, but they have been very supportive of me in every other means. So I'm the lucky one. But there were kids in my generation who were hung from trees and killed. There were kids in my neighborhood who were beaten with sticks and baseball bats till they were hospitalized because somebody suspected that they were gay. That's discrimination. I was expelled from the Navy for being gay. Please spare me the jokes about being gay and kicked out of the Navy. Spare me the jokes. Point is, that's discrimination. That's discrimination in the workplace. And there was a time people could be fired from their jobs if it was found out that they were gay. That's discrimination. Discrimination is not the fact that somebody doesn't like the color of your nail polish. You have the right. These kids have the right to view themselves however they want to view themselves. They do not have the right to tell everyone else that they have to accept it. Now, I'm all for equality. The fact that someone's gay should not in any way, shape, or form affect whether they can get housing, whether they can get education, whether they can get a job. But if you come to an interview for a job and you are dressed in high heels with glitter, sparkling eyeshadow, and a wig, you're going to get the attention you're looking for, but I'm not sure it's the kind of attention you're looking for. So maybe I'm going on a rant. I just think this is so over the top that it does amount to child abuse. I personally believe it does. No different than these little girls who are dressed up in bikinis and toddlers and tiaras. What the hell are these parents thinking? What are the grown men doing in the audience. What kind of grown men are going to these drag shows? You cannot tell me that the parents are not putting these kids on stage for any reason other than exploitation to get some money. I don't think that helps the kids. I don't think that helps society. I think it's too much. This time, I think it's too much. So that's my rant for today. I'm not intentionally stepping on toes or ruffling feathers, but I have absolutely no doubt that I have. Put in the comments. I will be sure to read them. Till next time, my friends, if you're not happy with your situation or the color of your nail polish, do something about it. Until next time, cheers.
It was crazy. It was amazing. The crowd really liked it, and they had fun. That's important. And Lady Gaga started crying. At first, I thought that was something wrong going on, but like she kept on going, and I was like, oh shit, this is like a real professional right there.